For the Clarity Crew, I'm Kurt Gebhards, and here's your 5 at 5. We're talking about Parenting 101. We're here in lovely Santa Cruz County. Backdrop is our beach. We're here on vacation. Hopefully your family is enjoying some meaningful time this summer together as well. But we want you to know, as parents who love the Lord, about the basics of parenting. In fact, my wife and I, she was looking for some resources on parenting and realized there weren't a lot of resources that she thought were helpful. So maybe these will be helpful to you and the friends that you have related to the fundamentals and the basics of biblical parenting. Last time we talked about really what the ultimate purpose or goal is in parenting. And the goal is that our children will be born again, and we acknowledge that as parents, we have no capacity to change our children's hearts. So what do we need to be as parents? We need to be dependent upon God, prayerful, dependent upon Him in humility, and we need to be faithful to the definition and tools that He gives us. So today, it's the definition of parenting. And this may be a new perspective for you, but I want to challenge you to see parenting as disciple making. To define biblical parenting is to say that parenting is generating disciples. Just like Jesus commands us in Matthew 28 to make disciples of all nations, how about we make disciples of everybody in our home, encouraging one another to be great followers of Jesus Christ? So what we want to talk about is how you do that. So we want to define really what it means to generate followers in two categories, and then we want to give you one specific or one idea under each. There's many that we can give, but we'll just give one. So ultimately, if you're going to make disciples of your children, you're looking for someone who is teachable and someone who is responsible. That's what followers are. Followers are teachable. They're hearing, they're listening, they're learning, they're humble, they're receiving the truth, and followers not only are teachable, but they're responsible, they're obedient, they give allegiance, and they follow the leader. Now, ultimately, we want our children to follow us because we want them to follow the Lord. And so we're instilling in them discipline and instruction so that they learn, have a mechanism of followership, because children's hearts are bound up in foolishness and in pride, and they don't want to follow. They want to lead. You've probably seen that within your children. So it's ours to show them good leadership, to generate teachability and responsibility, so that then they ultimately look and respond to and submit to Christ. So let's talk about teachability. You want to generate teachability within your kids. Number one, teach them to ask questions. Teach them to have open hearts. Teach them to be responsive and humble in their perspective. Teach them that they don't know what they should know, and that they should ask questions, and instead of rushing to judgment, that they should be open to other people's perspective. Take them to Proverbs 1 through 9. Do a project out of Proverbs 1 through 9. Maybe do this as a family. And what you can do is take Proverbs 1 through 9, and you can see the process of humility and the fruits of humility and teachability and wisdom. Then you can also see the process of foolishness and the fruits of foolishness. So maybe you have 4 colors and you color code Proverbs 1 through 9, and the process of wisdom is to ask questions and to seek understanding, to pursue it above silver and gold. And the fruit of it is wisdom, discretion, honor, long life, and prosperity. Foolishness, it is to hate wisdom, is to cast it off, is to rush into evil. And the fruit of foolishness is wickedness and bloodshed and harm and all sorts of bad things. The point is this: we want our children to be teachable and humble and responsive. So ask the question when you're disciplining or instructing them, do they have an open heart? If they don't, it doesn't help you very much to force that on them, but rather to make sure that you're doing what you're doing such that you're generating a humble heart. Teachable, a follower is teachable and responsible. Responsible is obedient, and responsible is somebody who knows their place. And as a young person, here's a principle that we apply. We tell our children that they're never allowed to ask why. They're always allowed to appeal, but they're never allowed to ask why. You see, when a child asks a parent why, they're basically demanding that the parent answer to them. That's not a responsible young person. That's an irresponsible young person, because the young person thinks that the parent is beneath them in authority. The truth is, they're underneath the parent. So our children are never allowed to ask why or demand a why answer. They're always allowed to appeal. So what they do instead is say, can I ask why? Sometimes the answer is yes, because it's fitting and appropriate. Sometimes the answer is no, because maybe they're not being responsible. The point that I'm trying to make is this: you want your children to be responsible from the heart. A humble heart that listens and a humble heart that obeys and follows out of joy. And so your home should be filled with joy, your home should be filled with love, your home should be filled with wonderful, generous dynamics of peace and joy, such that Teachability is developed because they see it in your life. Responsibility is developed because they see it in your life, and you're instilling that in their lives. The definition of biblical parenting is disciple making, generating followers, ultimately of God, by helping them to be teachable and responsible. For the Clarity Crew, I'm Gebhards. Be encouraged, be challenged, be clear.